So, in the last YouTube, I finished off without having actually the chance to play my favorite C trumpet, one that I developed in the late 90s for my own firm and actually just for my own playing, from an original gift from Mr. Sigmund Cancel in California. It has extreme heavy caps and a plate in the little flatter bow. There's two bows for this. This is the rounder bow. And the rounder bow has then less resistance. This has more resistance. And a plate in the bell. And a very heavy receiver and mouthpiece matching for it. See if I have the right mouthpiece here. This is an R mouthpiece. I need a mouthpiece that has the right back bore and the right cup dimension. Otherwise, I'm going to have extreme problems with it. Take out of the C trumpet that I used before from the Shilkey. Yeah, this is the way the mouthpiece has to fit. Absolutely perfect here. And it docks right up against the lead pipe inside. This is very, very important. Sometimes you can even have a adjustable receiver so that you can park your mouthpiece right up against the lead pipe inside the trumpet. Because this just goes over and you move the mouthpiece up so that the inside that the mouthpiece parks right up against the lead pipe here. So when the mouthpiece goes in, it goes over like this, and you move the mouthpiece right into its proper position against the lead pipe. For example, here, that's what this is about. See? Now it's loose, so I have to back it off. Now it's tight, but still touching up against the lead pipe. And now I can move this counter screw here. And now the mouthpiece butts directly up against the lead pipe, and there's no gap. Now I've made other similar receivers like that. This is one that's been lasered nicely and moves the same kind of thing, moving the mouthpiece up against it. I actually made these extra for other trumpets that I built in the past, but just happen to have that laying around so you understand how that works. But it's better just to have a mouthpiece that fits your trumpet properly. That's why I have so many different models. And so now, what I played before, the pictures of an exhibition, I'm not going to talk so much. I'm just going to play the trumpet and then change the tuning slide, and you hear a little bit of the difference. Pictures of an exhibition. So it has the brilliance that I'm looking for in a bright C trumpet, French C trumpet, but the sound, the size of the sound that you can get out of a Bach trumpet and the precision of a Shilkey. So it's more or less the best of all these worlds. And I'll play a little bit of the beginning of the Tomasi. Now, even though you need more air, I mean, every time I play a different instrument, I have to adjust the amount of air that's necessary to get the maximum resonance of the instrument. And if I don't have that completely right, it's just like the gearbox in different cars, they're all drag racers, and I've got to get just to let the clutch come just right, otherwise the motor's going to balk and maybe it'll either stall or whatever. That's how you crack notes. It's not a matter of whether or not you have a good lip or technique or whatever. It has to work together. with the paintbrush for the painting of the picture. I want to play a little bit from the entrada. So this takes a lot out of me right now, trying to do one or the other instrument. Just playing the piece one time or on one instrument, that's another thing. But I think you can hear that that is really a lot of, that has a lot of zoom, has a lot of resonance, has a lot of projection. And that's the kind of thing that I like about a C trumpet and dramatic pieces like this entrada. But still, when you go into the low register, it has a certain warmth of sound. And I like to be able to, on an instrument, be able to play different characters of sound, different colors of sound. Now, if I change just the tuning slide alone and take a rounder bow, I think you can see very, very clearly that this would be like the bow that you would find in a, let's say, a Selmer or a Bach. Whereas this is more, this is rounder, much rounder. You can see there's quite a difference. And this is more the direction of Schilke. And the sound is not so penetrant, not so brilliant, but it's a little bit more, the Germans would call it geschmeidig. It's a little bit more flexible, a little bit more like supple. Or the direction of a cornet, so more modulated. It's more, it takes more energy though. For example, the beginning of the entrada. And so the airflow that you need to use for the instrument has to be more consistent because it doesn't have the same amount of resistance. It's less forgiving, quite frankly. But still, I enjoy that very much. Coming back, though, I must say that I enjoy very much the most my Schilke C trumpet that I played back in the early 80s for doing these kind of pieces. And these are the instruments that I used when I did most of my recordings. And there are earlier recordings of Honegger and Enesco and what different pieces, Auratunian and whatever. So if you're interested in one or the other of these, hearing some of these, I have some CDs that I'd like to give you. Mike was asking me, my cameraman, why are you doing these YouTubes if you're not trying to make any money with it? And I said, everything in life is not about money. I'm paid by the university here, and I'm going to, at the end of this year, get a wonderful pension, and I'm fine with that. What I'm more interested in is making a gift back to you and back to, yeah, really all the people that love music, especially the trumpet. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be giving away some trumpets in Canada, in Saskatoon and in Regina at the university where I studied, actually taught, and then in Saskatoon I studied briefly in 1977. A rotary valve, where is it? Like this rotary valve. I'm going to have a new one made for a competition. And a D, E flat trumpet, the combination of D, E flat trumpet that I had built for with Cancel in California about 5 years ago before Ziggett died. It's part of a cooperation effort there that's already in Canada. So I'm hoping that that's going to happen as soon as this COVID thing is over. I've had my first injection 2 weeks ago. I'm going to have my second in May. And I want to impress upon you the necessity and the importance of everyone who's watching this YouTube, get yourself an inoculation against COVID. It only makes sense. There's no point in being afraid. Anybody that is afraid of that is only thinking of themselves and not all the other people that can get sick. And many people have got sick and died. And died. It's not a joke. And it's not a hoax. It's reality. My son had COVID last October and survived it quite well. He said it was very difficult after a week, but he got himself together. But he's only 26 now. He was 25 then. I'm 65. And I'm glad that, I have a very strong constitution in the first place. It's not a problem for me. I've actually never spent a night in the hospital in my life except when I was born, even though I had a broken hand and a broken leg. And yeah, but I've never had an operation, and I've never spent a night in a hospital. Thank you, God. But it doesn't mean that I'm stupid, and when I have an opportunity to get an injection, an inoculation against a parasite, a virus, which is a parasite. I mean, if I could get if I had a tapeworm, then of course I would take something to get rid of the tapeworm. And anybody that has an inoculation against diphtheria or polio knows that it's important to have this. Please, I know there's a lot of stuff on TV and a lot of people, doing their own thing and whatever about that and whatever. But look at the facts. People die from this stuff. And if you can get inoculation so that you don't give it to somebody else, even if you're okay with yourself, then do it. Don't wait. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of your own shadow. Take the initiative and be responsible. I hope that if you haven't had your inoculation before you see this little video, that you will think about it seriously again. Thank you for watching The Man with the Horns. Richard Carson Steuart. Hope to see you again soon.